The hotel called to confirm her honeymoon suite. While we were still married. That sentence alone was enough to take my knees out from under me. I still remember the voice on the other end of the line. Cheerful, professional, oblivious to the bomb they were dropping on my life. "Hello, sir. We're just confirming your wife's reservation for the honeymoon suite next weekend. Champagne on arrival. Ocean view, couples massage included. Does that all look correct?" I swear the world stopped spinning for a second. "Excuse me," I said, my throat suddenly dry. The receptionist repeated it like they were reading from a script. My wife's name. The dates. The word honeymoon. That was the word that did it. Honeymoon. We were already married. There shouldn't have been another honeymoon to plan. Not without me. I hung up without saying much, heart pounding in my ears. My hands were shaking so badly I nearly dropped the phone. At first I thought maybe it was a mistake. Maybe someone with the same last name. Maybe a clerical error. I told myself anything to keep from facing the truth. But deep down, I knew. For weeks I'd been ignoring the signs. The late nights at work. The way she guarded her phone like it was a newborn baby. The sudden obsession with buying new lingerie, even though our own bedroom life had gone cold. I didn't want to believe it. So I didn't. Until the hotel forced me to. I waited for her to come home that night. Every tick of the clock felt like a hammer against my ribs. When she finally walked in, smiling, tossing her keys onto the counter like it was just another Thursday, I wanted to grab her and scream, "Where the hell are you going on a honeymoon without me?" But I didn't. Not yet. I played it cool, which I think surprised even me. I made dinner, asked her about her day, kissed her cheek when she passed by, and all the while, my mind replayed the receptionist voice. Honeymoon suite. Champagne on arrival. Couples massage. That night, after she fell asleep, I took her phone from the nightstand. My hands were shaking so bad I nearly dropped it. I knew the code, of course I did, but punching it in felt like crossing a line I couldn't uncross. Still, I did it. What I found inside confirmed everything. Messages. Dozens of them. His. The man I'd never met but who was suddenly more present in my marriage than I was. They joked. They flirted. They reminisced about last time. My stomach turned. And then, there it was. The confirmation email from the hotel. "Our honeymoon suite is booked. Can't wait to wake up to that view with you." She'd sent him a heart emoji in response. I sat there in the dark, staring at the screen, listening to her breathing softly beside me. The woman I married. The woman I promised forever to. Dreaming peacefully while her lies screamed at me in pixels. The rage that boiled inside me was unlike anything I'd ever felt. Not just because she was cheating. Not just because she was planning some romantic getaway behind my back. But because she was doing it boldly. Honeymoon suite. Like our marriage was already dead and buried. And she was honeymooning with the next man. Before the divorce papers were even signed. I couldn't sleep. I just sat in the living room all night, staring at the wall. My mind replaying every moment of our marriage like film reels. Our wedding day. Our vows. The first house we bought together. The vacations. The arguments. The makeups. All of it suddenly poisoned by the knowledge that she was capable of this. The next morning she came into the kitchen. Hair messy, yawning. She kissed me on the cheek. Poured coffee like nothing was wrong. I wanted to throw the mug against the wall. Shatter it. Scream until the neighbors called the cops. But instead I just asked, "Got any plans this weekend?" She hesitated. Just for a second. But I saw it. That flicker in her eyes. "No, not really." "Why?" I nodded. Just wondering. And in that moment I knew. I had her. For the next 2 days, I played dumb. Went to work. Came home. Made dinner. Watched TV. All the while I was planning. Not revenge. Not yet. Just clarity. I needed to see how far she'd go. So when Friday rolled around I told her I was heading out of town for work. She smiled. Kissed me goodbye. Told me to drive safe. And then, as soon as I left, I doubled back. Parked. Down the street. Watched. 2 hours later, a car pulled up. Him. Tall. Smug. Carrying a weekend bag. She rushed out the door. Kissed him like I wasn't alive. They laughed. Loaded their bags. Drove off together. And I just sat there, gripping the steering wheel, watching my wife leave, for her honeymoon, with someone else. I followed, of course. Not right up behind them. I wasn't stupid. but close enough to know where they were headed. And sure enough, 30 minutes later, they pulled into that hotel, the one that had called me, the one with the honeymoon suite. I parked across the street, heart pounding, and watched them walk inside. Part of me wanted to storm in right then, to drag them out by their collars, throw the ring in her face, make a scene, but another part of me, the colder part, knew there was more power in patience. So, I left, drove home, sat in the dark house, their laughter still ringing in my ears, and thought about what to do next. I sat in that dark house alone, while my wife was clinking champagne glasses in a honeymoon suite, with another. You'd think the rage would have consumed me, but honestly it was the silence that got me, the way the walls felt too big, the way the couch still smelled like her perfume. I sat there with my wedding ring on the table in front of me, turning it over and over in my hand, asking myself, how did we get here? Saturday morning came, and I hadn't slept a wink. I called the hotel, just to test myself. Could you confirm the Thompson reservation for the honeymoon suite? I asked, voice low, pretending to be him. The receptionist chirped happily. Yes sir, you're all checked in, enjoy your stay. That was all I needed. The rage came back tenfold, but I didn't storm over there, not yet. I wanted her to have her weekend. I wanted her to sink so deep into her lies, that when I pulled the rug, she'd fall harder than she thought possible. Sunday night she walked back into the house with that glow. You know the glow, the relaxed, happy, I just got pampered all weekend glow. She kissed my cheek, said she missed me, and went straight to the shower. I sat there at the table, waiting for her to come back out, scrolling through the confirmation email I'd screenshotted from her phone. The subject line still burned in my eyes. Your honeymoon suite awaits. When she came back out, towel wrapped around her, humming. I held up the phone. Good trip? I asked. She froze, the color drained from her face. What do you mean? I tapped the screen. The hotel called me. Champagne, ocean view, couples massage, sound familiar? Her mouth opened and closed like a fish. She stammered. It's not what you think. Don't you dare, I snapped. Don't you dare tell me it's not what I think. You booked a honeymoon suite while we're still married, with him. She started crying, the kind of crying that used to make me want to comfort her. Not this time, not after everything. She reached for me, but I stepped back. Why? I demanded. My voice shook. Why the honeymoon suite? Why mock what we had? Through tears, she whispered, because he makes me feel alive, because I wanted to feel like I was starting over. I laughed bitterly. Starting over? You don't start over while you're still married. You end one life before you build another. She crumpled, sobbing into her hands. I stared at her, the woman I once thought was my forever, and all I felt was disgust. That week I moved out, told my family everything. My mum cried. My dad's face hardened like stone. My sister wanted to call her up and scream, but I told her not to waste her energy. The betrayal was mine to carry, not theirs. Of course, people found out. Friends whispered. Cow workers looked at me with pity. Someone even had the nerve to say, at least she didn't hide it. You found out early. Early. We'd been married 6 years. That wasn't early. That was halfway through the life I thought we were building. And the humiliation didn't stop there. The guy, her guy, sent me a message. Look, man, don't make this harder than it is. She's happy with me. You should move on. I stared at the screen, shaking. He was sitting there in my honeymoon suite, with my wife, telling me to move on. But I didn't reply, because men like that feed on reaction, and I refused to give him a meal. Instead I called a lawyer, sat in an office, with fluorescent lights, and filled out papers that spelled the end of everything. Divorce, division of assets, words I never thought would apply to me. She begged for forgiveness when the papers arrived, said she made a mistake, that she didn't mean to throw it all away. But forgiveness wasn't on the table. Not anymore. You don't walk back in from a honeymoon suite with another man and expect to crawl back into the marriage bed. The divorce was messy. She fought for I fought for my dignity. In the end, she got her half, but she also got a reputation she couldn't shake. People knew. Word spread. She wasn't the woman with the perfect Instagram life anymore. She was the woman who honeymooned before her divorce was final. It's been a year now. I'm still rebuilding. I rent a small place, cook for myself, sleep better than I thought I would. The silence doesn't haunt me anymore. It soothes me, and sometimes when I catch myself staring at the ring I still keep in a drawer, I remember the hotel receptionist's voice. Your honeymoon suite awaits. And I laugh, because no matter how badly she tried to rewrite our story, no matter how boldly she flaunted her betrayal, the truth is simple. She'll always be the woman who went on a honeymoon, while still married, and I'll always be the man who survived it. So that's my story. The hotel called to confirm her honeymoon suite while we were still married, and that call, that one cheerful little call, saved me. It pulled the curtain back on a marriage built on lies. It destroyed me for a while, sure, but it also set me free.